was a dark night on Hallows Eve, and lit by the moonlight, there was a guy named Jeremiah. He was walking through a dirt-clod field, and he decided that he was going to think of his life walking through the dirt-clod field. And as he looked down and looked around, looking at the tree lining that surround the dirt-clod field, he started to notice that his life wasn't going as well as he thought. And as he walked and thought how he could make his life better on Halloween, like a New Year's resolution, he tripped. Oh! And then he looked down and realized, I tripped over something. He looked in the moonlight, and there it was, a white arm with a hand sticking out of the ground. So he looked around to make sure no one could see him. He didn't want people to think he was weird or that he was killing a kid. So he bent down in case it was a person buried alive and needed help. So he grabbed onto the arm and pulled it up. And then he realized the white arm is not attached to anything. It's by itself. He has an arm pulled out of the ground that's been severed. And so Jeremiah looked around to see if anyone saw him, so he doesn't want to look like a murderer. And then he decided, since nobody's around, that he was going to play with the dead arm, the severed arm with only a hand, the poor white arm with a white hand attached to it. So that's when he started horsing around. He was pretending that he was having an Armstrong contest. He was pretending to play thumb war with it. He pretended he was dancing with it, spinning around, dancing. And then, as he was laughing, making fun of the arm and the hand that had been chopped off and buried into the ground, then he heard a loud sound. Then he heard this far distant groan off in the tree line. And Jeremiah looked around to make sure that he was all by himself. And so he kept wondering, is that an animal? Is that a mountain lion? Then he heard it again. Jeremiah didn't know what to do. So he grabbed the arm. He didn't want anyone to think he was a murderer. And he still wanted to play with it. So he started running. And he's running through the dirt clod field. And then he tripped again on a dirt clod. And then he looks to see if anyone's behind him that had caught up to him. And then he hears the weird growling again. And then Jeremiah's got scared. Here he is all by himself on Halloween, Hallows Eve, in a dirt clod field with a severed arm, white arm, and a hand. And he's running with it in the moonlight. And then he gets up, he cleans himself off. And then he doesn't want to look like a murderer, so he started walking faster through the dirt clod field. Then he heard a sound again, coming closer. Where's my arm? And Jeremiah looked around, he didn't know what to think. And he knew that it must be the murderer. It must be someone that knows that he has the arm. They saw him. So he starts going faster through the dirt clod field, trying to make sure that he can make tracks as fast as possible. He wanted to hot-foot it, but he didn't want anyone to see it. So as Jeremiah goes through the dirt clod field, he hears it again, but this time, instead of it being behind him in the distance, it's in front of him, running full speed and coming closer. And he hears it again. Where's my arm? And then Jeremiah starts getting scared. He starts shaking. And he's like, oh my God, I'm shaking. I can't think straight. I can't sit still. Oh my God, my thoughts are talking to me every 10 seconds. I can't be quiet for 2 minutes. And then Jeremiah hears the sound again, right in front of him. Where's my arm? Jeremiah gets so scared because he can't see in the moonlight in the dirt clod field on Hallows Eve. He falls and lands right on his face. And then as he looks up, he sees the zombie in front of him. And as he's looking at the zombie, taking a full look, he sees that the white zombie is missing an arm and a hand. And he looks at him. He goes, "What do you want from me?" And Jeremiah's is shaking, scared like a little monkey socks, little old man. And then the zombie looks at him and says, "Where's my arm?" And Jeremiah turns around because he thinks he's talking to someone else. And the zombie leans in, "You have it."